Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session today. Every year, we celebrate International Women's Day on March 8th. And here at Sinclair, we dedicate the month of March to celebrate Women History Month and recognize and honor all the amazing women around us. We all thrive for gender equality. However, at the current rate of progress, it will take until 2158, which is roughly 5 generations from now, to reach a full gender parity, according to the World Economic Forum. This year, the theme is focused on the need to accelerate the action, emphasize the importance of taking swift and decisive steps to achieve this equality. It calls for increasing momentum and urgency in addressing the systematic barriers, biases that women face across the globe, both in personal and professional life. Today, I have a pleasure to introduce to you one of our amazing customer and a trailblazer herself, who've been trying to accelerate this momentum all her life. So let me introduce you to Vylett Cross, who is the co-owner of Ed's Flooring America and has been a customer of ours for the last 24 years. Ed's Flooring America is located in Plainstow and Hooksett, New Hampshire, and it's been a business for 40 years and is a second generation family-owned business. Vylett truly grew up in the business and has been there for a long time, starting cleaning the showroom, working the warehouse, and started full-time with the company 15 years ago after she completed her college education. About 8 years ago, she became a stockholder, joining her dad, Ed, and her brother, Jacob. And Vylett also been using our products, RFMS, for the last 19 years. So she actually very familiar with Sinclair and RFMS. With any further ado, let me ask a couple of questions, Vylett. So thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having
So
me.
looking back, thank you. How has your life experience made you the leader who you are today?
I think a couple of things looking back has helped me with becoming the leader I am today. I grew up in a large family. I'm one of 7 children, and I have 5 siblings that are younger than me. And so I always was used to them looking up to me to be the best example I could be and be a role model to them. Especially, 2 of my sisters are yeah, much younger than me. They're 16 and 18 years old. And so I grew up close to them and always wanted to be the best female role model, not only as a sister, but in the world of business and education that I could be, to give them an example that I'd like them to be able to reflect back on and live by as well. Another life experience when I look back that helped me. So I went to school. My undergrads are not related to flooring at all. I have an associate's in culinary arts and a bachelor's in hospitality administration.
Wow.
So 2 very different degrees not related to flooring. While I was in college, I was working in the family business still, part-time, whether it was in the warehouse or showrooms at night after classes, in a variety of ways to just help. One of the things going to school for culinary arts and working in that industry for 7 years, it is a very male dominated industry. So it taught me as a female how to have a voice in the industry and how to be proud to gain respect of my fellow colleagues and to represent female in the culinary industry. Was an undergrad, we had a culinary competition team, and I was on it for a couple of years. I was always the only female, and my last year on it, they made me captain of the team. So I oversaw our team for our state competitions and different events we did, and led by an example to my other teammates on the team as a strong female leader in the team. It taught me to help to be able to guide and train others, by leading by example, but also by being just a strong leader for them to look up to.
That's fantastic. So, can I ask you a personal question? Are you
Yes.
bossing your sisters around, making them clean the rooms, showrooms, and take out the trash?
They work depending on their schooling right now. So they'll work during summer. My little sister is in college. She's finishing up her freshman year in college, so she's not around as much. But my other little sister, if they have time off, they come and I'll help them. They'll help me file. They'll help me do the trash. Others who's 20. He's in Lee, but he comes in every Friday and does cleans the warehouse, mops and vacuums the floors, does trash, does whatever help that my I need or my brother need as well. So I do boss them around, but I also make sure that I respect them uh, because not only are they my siblings, but also they're technically an employee as well. So
Fantastic, fantastic. So equity is about both individual and about systematically ensuring that policies, practices, systems provide all individuals access to the same opportunity, resources, recognition to be successful. As an individual woman in business, which is tough by itself, what have you seen done to embrace equity within companies, either yours or companies that you are affiliated with?
So reflecting first on our company a little bit, when we're hiring for a new position, we hire based on what the candidate can do and not on gender or race. We think it's important that we treat all applicants equally and hire based on their abilities and what would be a best fit for the job and not allow gender, race, or anything to play into that. And that has served us really well as a company. Because you may sometimes think, oh, I've got an idea of what I want for that position, and then be really surprised when you hire somebody that isn't what you thought, but is the best qualified candidate. So that's how one way we embrace it in our company. We're currently almost 50% staffed by females, which is really great in our company as well. Um, Also, in our company, I became years ago the first female manager we had in our company. And since then, we've had several other managers in various roles in our company that are female as well. Again, looking at diversity is important and to hire for what's best for the job and not a stereotype you want to fill on it. Looking at other companies that we're involved with, I think CCA Global is a great company that I look
Yes.
up to as being part of one of their cooperative groups. Is that they are very focused on equity within their company, diversification, and really they hire people for what are best for the job and set all other things aside. They have some great females in leadership there that do a phenomenal job in their leadership roles, and they also have some great employees that are in lower management roles or even just employees that are doing the database stuff and that are really love working for the company because it embraces equity in such a fine way. They have a woman in CCA Global group, which embraces all the women that
Yes.
are in the group across a bunch of different divisions in their flooring industry. We meet for webinars, seminars online. We always meet at our conventions and have a big luncheon where we embrace the other females that are working in the industry, not only in the retail stores, but in the mills, and really hear about how they're doing great things as well. And so I really embrace that as a great practice that our cooperative group does.
That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, as you know, this year's theme, the International Women's Day's theme, is Accelerate Action for Gender Equality, which is basically all around you seems like embracing it. How can individuals out there, like what kind of advice do you have for certain individuals on how can we continue to further accelerate these actions, both for female, also male, in our personal life, as well as in our corporate lives? Is there anything specific we can do to accelerate the actions toward gender equality?
I think a couple of things came to mind was to be a supporter and promoter of the companies that really embrace it. I'm a big supporter of female and minority owned companies, and really just whether it's shopping at them attending their events or just supporting them through shout-outs within our business. I think that's important to be supporters of them so that they're known in the industry as well. I think also we have to challenge gender stereotypes on different working environments. I work a warehouse sometimes. I've worked it for years and years, and still even last week I was in the warehouse and about to unload a truck, and I had the truck driver just ask me where if when somebody was going to come to unload them, and I was standing right there, and I was like, oh well, I am. And he just looked at me and was like, "Are you forklift certified?" I was like, "Yes, I have been for years." And it just changed his whole persona. Suddenly, he was like super happy to meet and see me. But I get it all the time working in the warehouse where people just come in and don't expect there to be a female in that position or to help them. I even deal with it in the showroom with customers if they come in and they want to speak to a male because they think that they'll know the project better or it's a construction based question and things like that, and just challenge it and not a rude way, but just to be confident in supporting that. Yes, I'm able to answer that question. Yes, I'm a woman, but I am more than educated in their question and answering it and doing it in a kind way so that by the end of the conversation they've got more statistics on what their question was than they probably ever expected, and never mind that it came from a female. um, those are just some examples. I think when we accelerate action is just being supportive of others that are in different roles or other people that are in business in different ways. Is support goes a long way. It gains recognition, which it gains acceleration on different things as well.
That's fantastic. Remind me never underestimate Vylett.
You never know. You never know.
I never know, indeed. So, what advice would you offer to women who really strive to grow as a leader in any businesses?
Some of my advice would be is don't give up on your dreams. If you don't have dreams, you can't come up with solutions on how to make those dreams come true. So don't give up on your dreams, and never be afraid to be challenged by hard things. Hard things will make you grow, not only in your professional career, but in your personal life. But when you're challenged by hard things and you accomplish them, it just gives you an overall sense of great accomplishment because you picked the hard thing to go off of first. Um, One of our current president of Flooring America, Steve Sharaki, one thing I was in a meeting with him last year, and he was talking about is take the hard things off the shelf. Don't be afraid to reach up high and take those hard things and then really grind to get them done. It makes a world of difference. And so I reflect back on that and I truly agree that that is true. Um, Other advice I would give to women looking to grow in leadership is to not be afraid to speak up. It's okay to be heard. And whether it's voicing yourself for a promotion or voicing yourself for a pay increase or just standing up to different stereotypes, that it's okay to speak up. I am a quieter person, so that's something I've had to really embrace is to speak up and let my voice be heard in certain situations. Um, I also think an important thing that I've always lived by is you want to lead by example and treat those that you're leading just as you'd like your leader to treat you. And I think that that has really helped develop me into a better leader by embracing that is um, yes, leaders in certain roles have to be dominant and have to be per se maybe the hard person in that case, but if you do it with grace and in a way that you would want to be treated, you'll be surprised at how much the people under you just want to work with you on a situation or grow in that situation, but how it makes you feel and embrace leadership and that it can be really powerful.
What steps can others take to better allies with women? And what can we do to aspire these advocates? You clearly had, and I'm not just talking about women, I'm talking about men. Clearly, you work with your dad, you work with your brother. You also mentioned the gentleman from Flooring America, who is clearly a male, definitely promoting leadership. So, how can we stimulate others to advocate for these changes, allies with women, to continue to mentor them to take those next steps? Is there anything we can do to align these individuals?
I think a couple of things certainly come to mind. I think um, encouraging and support go a long way for people, especially women, in a world where women are continuously overpassed for a promotion or a senior leadership position because of gender. I think supporting and encouragement to them to not give up and continue, but also encouragement with the leadership above them, to embrace that women are in this world. We're here to stay. We're here to make moves, and we're here to make changes. So not only encouraging the woman, but also encouraging people that are in leadership to embrace the possibilities that can be offered, and not just look at it as a name on a piece of paper, but what can this person do to help the company and help inspire others. I think that's one thing that I think really can help people be better allies.
So was your dad supportive of you joining the business early on?
He was. My dad was very good at supporting all of us kids and to grow up and do what you want to do. I have the flooring business and obviously love for you guys to be in it, but also supporting your dreams if and your careers of what you want to be. So that was really important to me. I grew up loving to bake and cook. I saw myself going into that industry. I didn't see myself going to school originally for it. Just to get into the industry. My dad was supportive. I remember we were on a supplier trip down to one of the islands, and we were just hanging out with my dad. I was 15 at the time, and he was just saying, "What do you want to do with your career?" And we just started talking, and then it came back, "Well, why don't you go to school for it?" And was a big encourager for me to go to school for culinary arts and to apply. And so I got back, I applied, and I did, and I started college at 16 and pursued my degree in culinary, and then moved on to my bachelor's degree. And he was supportive of it. Well, all I still work part time in the business, and I really loved it. Um, we were involved with our cooperative group Flooring America way back then even, and my dad was in charge of our neighborhood networks, which was just a group that supported all the Flooring Americas within the New England region, and we'd have meetings and get-togethers. And at 17, I used to be his little co-captain and would just set up all the meetings, and I encourage everyone to come and really help and embrace that camaraderie. And so my dad was always super supportive of that. Once I got out of college, I was young, I was 20 with my bachelor's, and I decided, I want to go full time. And my dad supported it. I started in the office, and I worked my way up from being an office staff person to running the office to a business manager to now a stockholder. And so my dad has always been really supportive of that.
That is very inspirational
Thank you.
indeed. So congratulations and congratulations to your dad who actually helped you get everything you wanted. Throughout your career, clearly, and schooling, by the way, very impressive. You must have learned a lot. So what is the most important lesson that you learned in your career to date that you want to share with people like the Sinkley staff and others out there?
So I think an important lesson that I learned in my career is when I was just getting out of undergrad school. Like I mentioned, I was young. I was only 20 years old. I had my two undergrad degrees, and I really wanted to go on to get my master's degree. Like I just was. It became a drive. Personally, it became a goal of mine in my family. I had never had any family members pursue graduate degrees, and so I really wanted to do that. And one of my college professors, just as I was getting out, encouraged me to get some experience in the business world and go into there for a couple of years before I went for my master's, and to gain life experience, work experience, and then bring that back if I want to continue and get my master's. And that was really important advice. So I left. I started working for my dad's full time in the office, working for the company, and started to really embrace some of the back office stuff and work on changes and working with the other people that were currently in the office that were over me. And after a few years, I did go back. I decided to go back to get my master's degree in business administration. So I started at night. I went full time at nights after work. And it made a world of difference, the work experience that I had for not only learning in class, but also being able to learn leadership skills even better because I have already been in the industry for a few years. So I really embraced that lesson from my professor of that don't ever don't ever underestimate the power of knowledge and experience that it can really help your career. Um, Continually learning, you're never too old to learn, and I embrace that wholeheartedly, and that has made a big difference in my career. And whether it's learning something about flooring or learning something about how to become a better leader, that it's really helped me to become the leader I am today. Um, and so I would say that was one of my big important lessons early on in life that I learned, that I embrace and continue to embrace.
Thank you. So you call yourself a perpetual student, right? Student of life.
I do. I certainly do. And I think one thing great about CCA Global is they have a fantastic university team that teaches you not only about flooring continuously,
Mhm.
but about leadership. They have leadership classes. They have classes you can go into in person. They put on classes you can do online, and that has really helped me to become a better leader as well. Is the education they offer and the mentorship that I can get through the cooperative group as well.
That's fantastic. A side question.
Mhm.
Do you mentor anyone as well? Do you act as a mentor to any of your staff or siblings around?
Oh, that's a good question. When I reflect on that, I definitely I mentor my siblings in a lot of ways. They always are looking up to me, not only because I'm the fun big sister and I do a lot with them. I love to travel, and so I started taking my siblings with me traveling when they were young. And whether we went
Mhm.
overseas to visit a country or visited something in the U.S., to embrace them in that. And then I think I mentor them, and even as they're finishing up school or starting new things or college, to just try to be um, not only good influence for them. They ask me questions. They want me to help them with different things. I support them in different things. So I definitely see I'm a mentor for my younger siblings. Um, and then at work, I don't always see myself per se as a mentor, but reflecting back, I'm involved with a lot of groups in our cooperative. And reflecting back, I'm open to talking to anybody on learning things, whether it's a somebody coming into RFMS as a new client and wanting best practices I use. I've talked to several different store owners and office people on how I do different things or how I've learned with it. So I look at that as a way of, I guess, mentoring without thinking of it being a mentor. And then just being involved in some of the advisory councils. I'm involved in the Next 40 Advisory Council, um, mentoring without probably thinking I'm mentoring by just being a leader in it, in the group as well. And again, talking to any of the members that want to talk on the side about different things. So I definitely, when I reflect back, I'm a mentor more than I probably think I am.
I know who to call because now I know your name, and we are certainly always looking for examples and mentoring other customers and taking advantage of best practices. So I got your number now.
Yes, yes.
Last question I have. There are so many wonderful, amazing female leaders out there. Which one do you admire most, or which ones do you admire most, and why? Why did you pick her or them?
I'm gonna probably reflect on it in a much different way than maybe other women would, but I'm big into sports. I've grown up in sports. I love sports. And I think that one of the female leaders I've admired it for years is Abby Wambach. And she was a women's soccer player. She competed on the U.S. women's soccer team at many Olympics and World Cups and different things like that. And she's always been a great example of a strong leader for her team, whether it was her captain, an advocate for women in sports, an advocate for the LGBTQ community. She's just been a strong advocate for things throughout her life on that. And so I've looked up to her younger while I was in sports, and still look up to her today as she's moved on to some great podcasting and things like that. And I think another female leader that is of more recent, but in sports over the last few years, is a college now professional basketball player named Caitlin Clark. And I really, even though she's much younger than me, I admired her leadership skills in on the court with her players, and then just what she has done to bring up women's basketball sport as a whole and really gaining it the attention that it should have, and bring to it a demand for equality among pay, but also really has been a leader of of changing something and doing it by more or less being herself and just going out and doing a great job on it, has really helped change it. And I've looked at her as a strong young female leader, that is a real great example to my younger siblings, as they're both all very big into basketball, and just a strong leader that's been very encouraging to me over the last few years.
Thank you so much, Violet. We really
Welcome.
appreciate your time, and I truly enjoy the conversation with you. You are a true trailblazer as a leader, as a female business owner, and we appreciate you. We appreciate your business and hope to talk to you soon again. Thank you very
Yes, for
much.
sure. Thank you very much for having me on. It was my pleasure speaking to you today.